Joining me now to discuss former Brexit Party leader and GB News host Nigel Farage. Nigel, this has happened in Great Britain. It's happened all over Europe, and they don't change the policies. Why?
Well, to begin, Carl, superb opening monologue. Well done, you. That was absolutely top stuff. 10 out of 10 from me. Because all you're doing is telling the truth, giving the numbers, seeing what has happened. It's interesting. You talk about the left learning nothing. Well, you're right. The left are learning nothing. But let me give you a moment of encouragement. There is now a growing silent majority in all decent Western countries that have a Christian background to them that understand something is wrong here. Mm-hmm. Two key points to make before I go on. Number one, we should all want to help genuine refugees, people in fear of their lives. My country took in Protestants from France who were being burnt at the stake. We took in Jews from Russia suffering the pogroms, Jews from Austria and Germany in the face of a Nazi threat. We took in Asians from Uganda when a mad dictator threatened to kill them all. We understand this stuff. Mm-hmm. We understand this stuff, and we've helped people from Afghanistan, from Syria. We know how to help people. But we're now reaching a point where proposals for, and America's talking about, or people in America, 1 million going to America. We're talking about huge numbers here. Mm. We have to understand this second point. Nothing that you've said in your introduction, or I'm about to say, is about race. It's not about race. It's about culture. You look at those rate figures from Sweden. You are talking about young men coming in, and they're nearly all young men. Remember that. Very few women and children. They're nearly all young men. Mm-hmm. Young men coming into our societies, they come from places where women aren't even second-class citizens.
Fact.
All right? Not even second-class citizens. How anybody who supports LGBT rights can even consider letting into the country people who chuck gays off buildings.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
the left have lost the plot. But remember, the silent majority are waking up. Yeah. This is no longer about a left or right issue. Yeah. For most decent people who work hard, pay their taxes, bring up their kids, do their jobs, this is actually, dare I say it, civilizational.
Yeah, it's a kitchen table issue now. It never was, but it is now. But Nigel, former President Trump on Truth Social basically said the same thing, claiming that the fighting in Gaza is coming home to the U.S. He's not wrong, is he?
Well, you see, you've got your southern border problem. And I noticed today the figures showing that 169 suspected terrorists have been stopped by the U.S. authorities in the last year, that you recently had a record month of 269,000 people in 1 month across the U.S. border that you know of, and there is no doubt that you can make the claim that terrorists are coming into America. And I think that if the Republicans fully understand how important this is to community, to society, to culture, it's one of those issues that can win them the elections in November 2024. And we're seeing it all over Europe. We're seeing big political change all over Europe as people realize that deluded liberals cannot face up to the truth. When people come from different cultures, if they come in small numbers, they may be able to assimilate, to integrate. Yeah. But if they come in large numbers and live in ghettos and communities, then I'm afraid you're boiling up problems. And you said 100,000 people on the streets. That was just in London. That was just in one city. Right. We had similar demonstrations the week before in Birmingham, Manchester, Edinburgh, and all over. We have got ourselves into a very, very bad place.
But in a place, Nigel, and in a place like, Great Britain or in America, if you have 100,000 people in a congressional district, you have changed that congressional seat based on that thing, or, 5 congressional seats, 100,000 new voters that come in and, maybe get citizenship and things. I mean, the Democrats, hey, they don't even want people to be able to be citizens anymore to vote. They want to try to pass that through. I got about less than a minute left. If there's one warning to America that you have seen on your home banks right there in England, what would it be?
In 1992, 321 Palestinians took refuge at a church in Denmark. They'd come to the country illegally. They were all granted asylum. 3 decades later, the government published figures. 64% of them had criminal convictions. 34% of their children had criminal convictions. Nearly all of them had lived on state benefit. The culture they came from was so different. They were incapable of integrating within the Danish, Nordic style culture, and that is why they turned to crime. That may be a small sample, but that doesn't tell you the absolute stupidity beginning to take people in from Gaza, that I don't know what will.
Yeah, well, to be end your point, Nigel, there might be a small sample, but there's no other sample to prove otherwise. So that's where we got to leave it. Nigel Farage, appreciate you being here, sir.